Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Wizard's World. I just want to show, the newest version of the point of sale system that I've been working on. So, the first point of sale system, started that I made started at April of 2022. You can see it here. This was the very first version. This was designed to look like the original spreadsheet that the club was using with paper and pencil. And so I brought that same spreadsheet into Google Sheets and we immediately began using it. And it had some features where you could, add stuff with these plus and minus buttons and figure out how much you needed to pay at the end of the day. And this geschlossen button was the one of the first, things that I built. It's a close button, and then we moved into the second version. We switched from using the plus and minus buttons to using, just these check boxes and well, I can't do it right now, but and the Schließen button or the close button became more looking like a button. Then we went to the third button, the third version of the point of sale system, which looked more like a feature-rich application, but still had a few issues with it. But you could click these buttons and write your first and last name and create your personal buying screen where you could make all your purchases. And this was built this one after looking at how other touchscreen point of sale systems were working, and I built this whole thing, and it included a lot of features. When you come over here and you go to the Vorstand, you can see that a lot of dashboards were created that let you know how well you were doing, how well your sales were doing on a monthly basis, and how well your different things that you were selling. This is tips for the month. This is how many sales all time went through the system. And you can see that most active day in the club and so on and so forth. So it's a pretty feature rich system. And I started building a version 4 that was even a more feature rich system where it was very easy to add items. And I tried to improve the speed in many ways. But ultimately, I never put that into the production system. This one, as I said, it went into production and had almost 5,000 sales in it. So I was using Google Sheets as something to build kind of an app with Google Sheets, and so in version 4, I put a lot of time into that, and basically. As I got further and further along with it, I was still had an kind of an extended amount of time that I was still going to need to continue to put into that. I had more speed concerns with it, and that's when I decided to attempt to build an entirely new project that's just based on Node.js React, Mongo database, and GoLang, and that's what we're going to look at next. You have a front end and a back end, and it's going to launch 3 containers when I do this. I guess I could have detached that. And there's the 3 containers. So it started very quickly. There's the front end, the back end, and the database. Then we're going to swing around to actual server. Yeah. And so in this version, we have a manager's version and a bartender's version. And as you can see here, there's role-based access control. So you can create new users with either the bartender or the manager role. And then in your overview screen, it shows how much revenue you have for today and what the balance of the register and how much money is in the safe. This is typically information that a manager or a business operator would need. You can reset the PIN. You can factory reset the system. You can run through the business configuration wizard, which maybe I shouldn't have started that. You can also do the inventory setup wizard, and at the end of the inventory setup wizard, it's a real quick way to add your new items. So we could add a new item. Let's add a hamburger, and that is snacks, and that's €5, and we're going to add that item. And then we're going to go to Yeah, this should alphabetize the inventory. Yeah, there we it reverted. I saw it alphabetized for a second and then it reverted. So that might be, there's still some flaws. This shows basic different reports, who had the counter service on that particular day, what time did they start their counter service, what time did they end their counter service. This could show discrepancies. So when there's a discrepancy, people count the money and then there's either more or less money that causes a discrepancy alarm, and people could come and see, has there been a lot of discrepancies. Here you have showing how much tips for the month, how much sales for the month. You can change these. You can go by category. You can turn it into a line and so on and so forth. And then you can see product sales. Here's the different products. So we sold a lot of Twix, $7 million worth of Twix. So there could be a couple of issues with some of these things. This is still there's a couple areas on my board of fix actions that I need to perform. But this here shows when you turn on credit card sales, it also has the capability in the business setup to turn on credit card sales and different sales options. That you can have a verification. Somebody can come through and verify when somebody says they paid with a credit card or a PayPal, that they actually did go and pay with a credit card or a PayPal. Then it has a fully featured log system. You can go on, by dates. You can zoom into a specific thing like the safe and see when money was put into the safe, which is part of the annual report. And then you can export it, and you get the safe export. And yeah, okay, okay, um, that's okay. I didn't need to recover that. And then you can see here you get a CSV with log items on it that can help you do audits and things like that. The logs are one of the key pieces that's always been part of all of these point of sale systems that I've made. And then, so this lets you just count the money in the safe, to put coins in the safe, to set the register amount. If it gets, if you're just starting with this, the first day you have to set the register amount. However much money's in the register, you need to set that here for that first day for starting it. This register cash limit enforces, like, if there's more than this much in the register, then somebody needs to make a safe deposit. And then we're back to the user management screen. And so then we're going to look at the bartender dashboard. And in the bartender dashboard, you have a light mode and a dark mode. And it's very simple. I think there should be some customers here, but maybe not. Oh, there they are. I just didn't wait long enough. So here's the different customers that are here. All of these have made purchases. So for Abraham, he's purchased €4 worth of stuff. So I can go ahead and hit Betzalin right here, which means pay, and it shows him what he's bought. He's bought 2 Fantas, and he cannot pay less, but he can pay more. And so if he wants to, he could pay $4.50 and give the Trinkgeld. And then I could say, it says, "Are you sure?" And I go ahead and say yes. And then to add a new customer, add Josh. And we get Josh, and until he buys something, he has a little trash can, so you can just delete him if you didn't mean to do that. And so I'll go ahead and add Joe, and then I can click Joe. Oops, click Joe here, and they're alphabetical. And then I click buy, and we'll see. Here's the burger that we added earlier. I'll add the burger. You can also up it where he buys 5 burgers. Go ahead and say okay. And now he's got €25. Up here, you see that there's 234.50. So when he goes to pay, we should see that increase by €25. And there, now you have 259.50, and you come over here, you try to start this. It's going to say, here's that enforcement. So you can't start yet because first you have to make a deposit. So I'm going to make a deposit of 20. And I'm going to go ahead and say okay. So that money's moving into the safe now. It's moved into the safe, and now I can go ahead and start my shift. And I counted 240, so there's a discrepancy of 50 cents. and it says, okay, I'm going to go ahead and start it. And yeah, so that's the new system. It's no longer based on Google Sheets, and it's all based on Node.js, React, Mongo database, and GoLang. Thanks.